So the recent numbers seem to indicate that the cost of living for Social Security for next year may not be as high as you may have expected it to be. I want to share with you in this video what's happening and what the impact could be to you. But before we get there, subscribe to my channel. I have over 30 years in this business talking to folks just like yourself, and I want to share with you the conversations I have with my clients so you don't make the mistakes that many others have made. So there may be two different types of people who are looking at this video right now. Those who are currently receiving Social Security and those who are not. And I want to talk to those who are not for just a moment, because this decision could be huge. So as you can see on the screen, United Income in 2019 released a study that said Americans lose trillions claiming Social Security at the wrong time. The study concluded that 96% of retirees choose the wrong year to tap Social Security, with most people better off waiting until 70 to claim, with 43% of adults actually better off claiming before 70. By claiming at the right time, more than half of retirees would see income in their 70s and 80s rise by more than 25%. That's a big deal, and that's the start of the decision making for Social Security and your financial security looking forward, because Social Security is a big part of the cash flow that you need to generate to help you to pursue your goals. So please make sure that you're making the right choice, and if you have any questions, we have a free chapter up in the banner for you. It's from my recent book, Don't Outlive Your Money in Retirement. So click the banner and I'll be able to answer some of the questions you might have. Now, for those who are already receiving Social Security, some reports had been out earlier in the year that you may be receiving a 10 or 11% cost of living adjustment for this year. But that is based on the CPIW, the wage chart for CPI. And let me share that with you in the numbers that just recently got released. So the cost of living increases are based on this chart and the most recent 3 months, or the quarter just before October. That's July, August, and September. And as you can see, as the year has progressed, this chart and the numbers have been going up. However, in July, we see that the June number of 9.8% may have been the peak, and it's starting to come back down to 9.1%, and that trend may be continuing through the end of September. And the cost of living adjustment will be based on the last 3 months ending in September. Now, I do want to put this into some historical perspective so we can understand. So let me share with you another chart on the history of cost of living increases for Social Security. So this chart shows you cost of living increases since 1975, where prior to 1975, the benefit increases were set by legislation. Now it's set by a form of CPI, right now the CPIW. And as you can see, for about the past 20-25 years, the adjustments have been pretty much in the 2% arena, sometimes 3 and sometimes maybe as much as 4. We have to go back to 1981 to see an 11% or double-digit increase. So we have been used to that 2 to 2.5% number for many years now. So I want you to keep that chart in mind for just a moment as I share with you why the numbers are starting to come down from that 9.8 to 9.1 and maybe coming down a little bit further. It's all driven by energy prices, oil, The price of crude oil has come down significantly from its high, about 30%, which has a significant impact across the board, across the economy, for almost everything we do and touch. Transportation of all goods is now coming down. The cost of goods is now coming down. Cost of putting gas in your car is coming down. Cost of heating your house is coming down. All of this is starting to come down, and it does not appear at the moment that that will go back up right now. So those numbers for the CPI may start to come down even further, which would lead us to believe that the cost of living adjustment may not be at quite as high as we had expected a couple of months ago. So the good news is that you should be getting an 8 or 9% cost of living increase beginning next year. That's wonderful. However, based on a study by the Senior Citizens League, even with the cost of living increases that we have seen over the past 40 years, that the reality is that Social Security's purchasing power has lost 40% even with the cost of living increases. We have not been keeping up with inflation. So this is why it's really important to have your own savings, to have other income sources other than just Social Security, because you can't rely on just Social Security to keep up with what's going on in the inflationary arena year over year over year. Stay tuned and I'll keep you up to date with regards to what's going to be happening with Social Security cost of living increases as we get closer to October.